Yolan True, and welcome to another exciting day in our galaxy. And today I want to talk about one more basic thing that contains a little bit for higher level viewers as well. But there are a lot of new players in this game, and so I, in the last weeks, put in a little bit more of basic content as well, so that they know what they're really going into. And one big part of this game, and a part that is much more important than some people have shown in the past, which is another reason why I'm doing this video, that is research. But before I talk about research a little bit more in detail, let's remind you again that if you are not a subscriber of my channel yet but do like my videos, then please do subscribe to my channel. And when you do, also click this little bell and all notifications so you will be notified when another video comes out. In the beginning, when you start this game, you have one research queue on the left. There you see that I have 3 of those, and they are all occupied. That's why I cannot show you the research section via those queues, because they're all full. But there's another way to do it. If I go to my R&D department, and on the bottom there is this button research. If I click that, then we come to the research trees. And even at the start of the game, you see a number of those. This is all the research trees I see now on my level. But you cannot research in everything already when you just start the game. But there are research or researches in all of them. They all depend on a certain ops level. That's what you see from the beginning again, when it tells you you can only upgrade this on ops so and so and ops so and so. And they also depend on another. So you will often see that you cannot upgrade one thing before upgrading something else in the research. And there are 2 different kinds of research. I just call them the normal one, that's the gray ones, and there's prime research, that's the gold ones. And there are some of those prime researches which you can upgrade just by getting certain materials in your game play just in time with upgrading your station, etc., and going to other levels and getting that material. And there are others that are just available to buy in the shop, and that changes from time to time, because sometimes things are added in the factions with what you can upgrade prime researchers, or we recently got something in the refineries that brings material for some prime researchers, but others are still there that can only be bought in the shop, or at the moment we have some primes again that are at least introduced as only to be available in the shop, and maybe later we see something in-game where you get those materials for them, as we did with other prime researchers that were just to buy before, and now via factions and refineries we can get that material. There's combat research, which is quite obvious, as the name says, where you can strengthen your ships by doing research. And this is a very, very important part people always neglect. Going against a certain higher level of hostiles, being strong against other players, doesn't always depend on your ship size and your ops level. It often can be much, much more important to have more research done. And that is what people often forget. I have fought against players that were on paper much stronger than me, and I just wiped them off the board because my research was much better. We both had the best PvP crews. He had a stronger ship, even a ship class higher, and I wiped him off the board because that was one of those players that always went ops, ops, ops. I talked about this in my building video, but totally neglected their research. And then your big ships and the big number on your official name there are worth nothing. So it's really important to keep a very close eye on your research. The same is with your station. There's a lot of research here that helps you making your life easier with upgrading your station. There is research here for building efficiency, for example, where your par steel, titanium and dilithium costs are reduced. And believe me, that is a very big topic, especially when you get into the 50 plus levels. The cost of par steel for your station, titanium for your ships. You will be happy if you did that research. And the same is in other research trees as well. You find that too, so always keep an eye on that. And it's the same with the defense of your station. In the infinite incursions, then where you fight against the other server and they try to raid your bases and you try to raid their bases, that will be very important how strong you have upgraded your station defenses as well. So to make it as hard as possible for players from the other server to raid your base. In incursions, in my case now, it's only in incursions that people can try to raid my base, because I really stick to the prime principle I always name in this game, and that's shield or share. And I said it when I made a video about this. If your base gets raided outside of incursions where you are forced to drop your shield to go hunting yourself, outside of incursions, if you forget to raise your shield and you get raided, sorry, but that's your fault. Don't blame the guy that raids you, because I know some people that go ballistic when they get raided. No, it's just your fault. It's the easiest thing to keep an eye on your shields. In the very early times when you reach level 15 and can get raided, there it's sometimes hard to have enough peace shields available to always shield, to have long enough while you're working to. That's one topic. But in the stages from when you can start incursions, for example, from the 20s, there is no excuse anymore for forgetting to shield. Then still a better research on your station defenses might help you. But seriously, if you get raided outside of incursions, because then you're, as I said, you are fighting yourself, but then it is solely your fault that you get raided. Don't go ballistic, don't go on a frenzy or whatever. It's your fault. And as you can see, in time, you will always get more research when you upgrade. And you see that there's research I cannot do because, as I said, research depends on your R&D department, on the level of your R&D department in many cases, and on other researches to be done before. And that will switch always. When you reach a certain level, then it will require another level from something else again. And so that jumps over. But you always have prerequisites for your research. And here, the last ones that I can see at the moment, there you can see what other researchers I need before, and then what R&D department I need here before I can research this. But when you get to higher levels, this list will get longer as well. This is not all that I can ever research in this game. This is only the research I can see on my current R&D level and Ops level, and you see it ends with a requirement of R&D Department 58. You know the levels now go until level 70. And when I reach level 58, then probably this queue will be... there will be something added. Then we have a galaxy research where it's a lot about mining and your survey ships as well, but also some help to get your ship stronger as well, like you see the hull durability, the shield modification, but also researches already on reputation gains. That's something else you always should keep an eye on. You see the Klingon apprentice, the Federation apprentice, and the Romulan apprentice. It increases the base points gained or lost for defeating a hostile from the factions. So I get more Klingon reputation points now if I hunt the Romulans. I will lose more with the Romulans because of that as well, but it doesn't matter. They are at a lock and they cannot fall under. So I can speed up my reputation gains. And so there's a lot of different and very important research here. And there's another one that's really important that's dependent on your ops level because you need certain material to do that. But that's a very important research as well. That's a warp range research in the galaxy tree. And it's just supposed to be a few examples. In the combat tree and in the station tree, there's another very important thing for the players in the beginning because ships are unlocked here. You see the unlock Fortunate in the very beginning, and later unlock the Envoy is in here, so you can unlock ships on the combat tree and on the station tree. You can unlock certain station modules here. You see, for example, here, unlock the hangar. You have to research that before you can build that building. So that is really why you have to keep an eye on your research. There's also from a certain level then away team researchers which help as well. They go from strengthening your ships to helping your miners to helping mining itself, and also giving you some boost on reputation gains later and so on. Then we have the Outlaw Research with a lot of help for your ships again, but also for your stellar. And the more stellar research you do, the stronger your stellar gets. I still have to do a little bit of that. There's not that much left here, but still the particle spending hasn't ended. And it's also helpful for impulse speed. The G4 impulse was quite important for me when I was at the G4 impulse part and started the wave defenses. That helped a lot with my G4 ships at that time already. Then we have research on a lot of starships, all depending on your level, of course, and the ships you have, which are also level dependent. And there will more and more stuff get into it for your ships. But there are some researches that are not just for your ships. You will see that when you get the Voyager, for example. There's a lot of research involved here for ships in general, for example. Or the Monovine research, where you find a lot of help for material spending in research for upgrading your station. You see the pure station reinforcement I already completed. That reduces the material costs I need for buildings in my station. There's bonuses for armadas. There's also bonuses for reputation gains. And that's why you also should have a look always on the research for your ships as well. They're not always exclusively just for the abilities of your ships. Then we have territory research. There's a lot of mixed stuff, so to speak, in for that. You will find help for kind of everything in the territory research. And so always keep an eye on it. It's harder to do because of all the particles you need and so on. But you should definitely also keep an eye on it as soon as you have it unlocked here to get started with doing territory research. I recently made a video on how to get the whole territory stuff unlocked. And once you are there and you start with the territory research, there's always something added in time after time. So don't neglect that too. Then we have starbase research that concentrates mostly on your starbase and on your fight against the Cardassians, but there are some Armada things in here as well, and some efficiency things that are helpful too that I still need to do, by the way. But that depends on the level of your starbase and the buildings unlocked on your starbase or up-leveled on your starbase. And then we have the Xborg section. That is something for the higher levels then when you reach level 38, which is really helpful because you also have the resource boosts and the material boosts here. And of course, the Swarm sweep, the Romulan sweep, the Klingon sweep, and the Federation sweep that are a dream because you can make your life with your dailies so much easier. So don't neglect this. As soon as you get to level 38 and start with the Xborg, keep an eye on that as well. But overall, you heard that I always said keep an eye on, keep an eye on, keep an eye on, because research is so important in this game. Because it gives you very often, if your research is very well cared for, let's say it that way, then it will give you so many advantages against others that are just looking at their ops and their ops and their ops. You will see what I'm talking about. But that was just supposed to be a kind of, once again, overview of the research part and why it's important. There is one more thing to add. You have seen that I have more than one research queue, because especially there I thought it's important to have more than one research running at the same time, because you also need it for the dailies. Once you reach Ops 15, you have the chance to get more research queues via the shop, and it's up to, well, at least I can see up to 4 at the moment. And I decided to do that at the time. The first one was not that expensive. The second one, I think, was a little bit more expensive. But the next one would be really expensive, definitely. But for me, it was worth it to do that, because there's so much to research, and you don't always have the speed ups, because there are times where you spend all your speed ups on buildings and research, and then you're completely broke, and then you don't have Latinum to speed up. That I really thought that this was important, so I just wanted to give you the information that it is there. I know that there are people spending a lot of money, there are people spending no money, but the information that it is possible to do that, everybody should have heard. And for me personally, it was really helpful. That was something that I must say was really worth it to get. And I wouldn't rule out that I get the expensive fourth one at some point, where I don't have to spend always on certain things to make the videos. If I ever have a quiet month where I don't have to spend that much, I might think about this. But there are a few things that fall in that category. If you want to add something about research in general, please write it under the comments. And if you have questions in general or video requests, you know that I regularly read the comments. And if you want to see another video right now, the next one is right here in the end screen. I'll see you there. I'll be back.